Stop it. We're doing law of cosines practice here. Quit thinking about getting out. All right, you guys that still have your quiz, you need to turn them in, guys. If you know what you're doing, you were done a long time ago. If you don't know what you're doing, then you really need to practice and pay attention. Now we are practicing for our next quiz, which will be over the law of cosines. So here we go. Solve for side C. Now, I didn't even label it. Where is side C? Side C is this one over here, right? So we're going to solve for side C. Now, I know I told you this is law of cosines practice, but how do we know that it's not the law of sines? How do we know that? What about the problem is my clue that it's not the law of sines? What do I have to have to use the law of sines? I have to have a match set, don't I? A pair? Do I have that in this problem? Do I know both of these, or both of these, or both of these? I don't. So when I don't have that, then I'm going to use my law of cosines. My angle is 53, so out here at the end, I'm going to put cosine 53. And then what goes over here all by itself on the other side of the equals? The side, so c squared, the unknown. And then in the middle goes a combination of 10 and 14. So 10 squared plus 14 squared minus 2 times 10 times 14. Now for the quiz, I will give you the law of cosines. The problem is the letters aren't going to match. So you are going to have to recognize the pattern, which is right here, for the setup that you've been given. Now, this is an easy one because I gave all my calculators away, so I need somebody to type all that in for me. And then remember what? After you get it all typed in, what do we have to remember?
Square root it.
We got to square root it. We have to square root it. You got what? 4? No, it can't be 4.
11.29.
I mean, I don't know. It can't be 4. I know that. 11.29 maybe. What did anybody else get? 11.29. So our answer is 11.29. Your job was to find the measure of side C. So cosine 53, 11.29, yeah, that's right, 11.29 is side C. Okay? Now, next, number 2, find the area. Now notice, what have we been given in this triangle? All of the sides. So who remembers how we do the area if we know all the sides? What do we start with? Find the perimeter and then cut it in half. So what's our perimeter? You have a calculator, you don't even have to add on your own if you don't want to. What's the perimeter? 52. So what's the semi-perimeter? 26. So your area is going to be a giant radical, and under the radical is going to be 4 things, the first of which is 26. Now, what are the other three things that go under there? 26 minus all of those in any order. So 26 minus 18, 26 minus 20, and 26 minus 14. And then we times them all together and take the square root and round it off to the nearest hundredth. And what is that one?
122.8.
I'm hearing all kinds of different things. So 26 times 8 times 6 times 12, square rooted, 122.38. Did somebody say that?
Yeah.
That's your area.
If there's no unit, do we just make one up to square?
You can, or just leave it blank. If there's no unit, I can't ask you to put a unit on it. That would be square units though, whatever it was. So if these were feet, that would be square feet. All right, one more problem on this side. We're finding area. Now, are we going to find area the same way we just did? No, because to do that, which is so cool and so wonderful, you bet you need all three sides. So who remembers the other way we talked about of finding area? 1/2 side times side times sine of included angle. So isn't this angle included between these two sides? Yes, made by those two sides. So your formula simply says 1/2 13 times 11 times sine 42. So 1/2, oops, 1/2 times 13 times 11 times sine 42, 47.84. Wow, easy. Easy. Turn it over. Now I know, I want you guys to listen to me now. I want you to listen to me. I know when you see this, you might think about this right here. Doesn't it kind of look the same? But what's the difference?
We're solving for a side.
Exactly. In this problem, we were finding area. If your job is to find area, then you do 1/2 side, side, sine. That's it. That's how you do it. Over here, though, it doesn't say find area. It says find side A. And when we find a side, we're going to use either the law of sines or the law of cosines. Okay? Which is it? It's got to be cosines. Now, obviously this quiz is law of cosines. But you're going to know on test day, when they're all mixed up, you're going to know this is cosines because you don't have a pair. And that means cosines. So my angle is 28. My side is a squared. And then what goes in the middle? 13 squared plus 17 squared minus 213 times 17. So we're going to type that in, 13 squared plus 17 squared minus 2 times 13 times 17 times cosine 28 equals, and then we're going to square root that. I got 2, 3. And that's all we had to do for that problem. That problem simply said, find A. We found it. Please hang on to this practice work, guys, because it's a long time till we get to take a quiz. Monday. So it'll be one side, 3 problems, just like this. All right, problem 2, find the area. So now we are finding area. So how are we gonna do it? We got 2 options. We have the radical thing, and we have the 1/2 side sign. What are we gonna do, Gio? Add up all the sides and find the perimeter. All right, so adding up all the sides gives me 38. So
In this direction, please excuse the concert choir to the rack for Ash Wednesday preparation. Thank you.
the semi-perimeter is 19. So when I find my area and I have my big radical, the first number in it is 19. 38 does not go in the radical. 19 goes in the radical. And then, what are the other 3 numbers? There are 4 numbers total. How do I get the other 3? 19 minus each side. And you can go whatever order you want. It doesn't matter. You take 19 minus each side. Use your calculator if you need help subtracting. Then we're going to multiply all those together. And take the square root. 59.92. Anybody else get that?
Yep.
Okay. And then one more. This one is also area. So when we have to find the area, we have this option. But we only use this option if we have all the sides, right? What's our other option? Area equals 1/2 10 times 17 times sine 83. $84.37. Okay, so we just went through the quiz twice. There's 2 practice quizzes there. Your quiz will look like one side. Got it? Okay. All right, let's get our practice tests out then, and let's start work on that. Handed those out the other day. Half the perimeter. Half the perimeter. Half the 38 is 19. All right, so let's just remind ourselves, what does our test look like? This, right? So you are gonna have 2 problems on your test that are going to be these simplified deals. All right, they're all these problems are different, so there's nothing to do except practice and try. So let's look at the first one. What do you notice anything about the first one? Anything to do at all? Gio? Cancel what? Okay, now, you can only cancel in a problem where you are multiplying, and then they have to be something on the top and something on the bottom. Now, you're actually on the right track though, because you notice that they both have a sign. We can't cancel them out, but what can we do? Factor them out. So we're gonna factor out a sign. They both have a sign. We're gonna factor it out. So what's left here? If we take out a sign, what's left? Sine squared. If we take out a sign, what's left? Cosine squared. Now, you'll have your sheet with you, your reference sheet. You have it right now, you can get it out. Sine squared plus cosine squared, that's on your sheet. What is that? What's sine squared plus cosine squared? 1. So this problem just simplifies down to sine. Okay? All right, what about this second one now? This one looks a little, it's different for sure. Anybody remember what I kind of recommended sometimes is best to do? So I'm gonna think of this as cotangent divided by cosecant. Isn't that what it is? And then I'm gonna change my things into fractions. So what is cotangent? Cotangent is cosine over sine. Very good. Again, you'll have a reference sheet, but this won't be on it. What's cosecant? You need to know that cosecant is 1 over sine. So the first thing I did was write my problem using a division symbol. So I wrote it sideways. Then I changed cotangent into its fraction and changed cosecant into its fraction. Now, since that's a division problem, I'm going to keep this one the same. I'm going to change that to a multiply and flip this one over. Now, Geo, I have a problem where I can cancel because it's a times and I have a denominator and a numerator that match. So what's the answer to that problem? Just cosine. Now, I know those problems are scary. There are 2 of them on the test. I promise you they're just like these. I mean, they're no harder than these. So you just gotta try. Just jump in and try. The rest of the test should be a cakewalk. Solve the triangle. When it says solve the triangle, you are going to use law of sines or cosines. That's how we solve triangles. We use the law of sines or the law of cosines. Okay, so take a look at this one. What do you think this one's going to be? Sines or cosines? It's the law of sines. How do we know? See that right there? That's your clue. Look at where I'm pointing. That's your clue right there. You have B and B. So you're going to start with sine 50 over 16. Start with your pair. And then set it equal to whatever you want. So maybe sine 62 over C. All right, then we'll cross multiply, so C sine 50 equals 16 sine 62. We'll divide by sine 50. We'll type that into our calculator. Hang sine 62, close parentheses, divided by sine 50. You said 18.44?
Yep.
What is that? That's like C. All right. Now, what next? You're not done. Remember, you have to fill in all those blanks. So we got one of them filled in.
Find a big A, you can add 50 to
So she says big A is a no-brainer, kind of. If we have a 50 and a 62, then what's this guy gotta be? 68? Because the angles of a triangle add up to 180. Then we can jump right back in and do this exact thing again, starting with sine 50 over 16. But this time, we'll say sine 68 over A. Kids, the order that you do that doesn't matter. You could have done A first. Makes no difference. All right, so let's cross multiply and divide and come up with an answer. Let's all do it so that when we take a quiz or a test, we don't spend, 20 minutes on one problem. Practice. 16 sine 68, close parentheses, divided by sine 50. 19.37, is that what you got? You okay with that? All right, solve the triangle. Now, be careful. I know when you see that, at least when I see this, what pops into my head is Hero's formula, area with big radical, semi-perimeter and all that, but I'm not finding area. I am finding, I guess, all the angles. So I'm gonna use either the law of sines or the law of cosines. Which one is it gonna be? It's gotta be cosines, because I don't have that match set, that pair. You get to pick. What angle do you wanna find first? It makes no difference. Which one do you wanna find? D? Or I find angle D first. If I am using the law of cosines, and I am finding angle D first, then over here on this side, it's gonna say cosine D. And what's gonna be over here on this side, all by itself? 12 squared. Because whatever angle you're using in the formula is the side that you're using equal to. And then in the middle, here's my 12, so in the middle, it's gonna be 10 squared plus 16 squared minus 2 times 10 times 16. Again, I'll give you the law of cosines, but the letters won't match up. So you're going to have to understand the pattern. Now, on our quiz that we practiced earlier, we just took our calculators out and typed all this in. That is not possible this time because of that. So let's figure out what all these numbers are. This is 144. This is 100. This is 256. And this one is 320. Alright, so I squared that, and then multiplied these three numbers together and hooked it to my cosine D. So, tell me, what do I do now? What should I do first? What?
Right side.
What do you want me to do on the right side?
100 plus.
Yeah, first I'm gonna add these two together, absolutely. So I have 144 equal to 356 minus 320 cosine D. These do not go together. They're not like terms. This one has a cosine, this one doesn't. So please don't combine those. What are you gonna do instead? Move the 356 to the other side. So 144 minus 356. So negative 212 equals negative 320 cosine D. Now what? Divide. The negatives will cancel. And then what do I do with that? This fraction is not the answer. The angle is the answer. So what am I going to have to type in to get that answer? Second cosine. So D is going to be second cosine 212 over 320. So second cosine 212 divided by 320. I got 48.51 for angle D. Now, what do you notice about your problem now? Again, you're not done. That was a lot of work, but we're not done. What do you notice though now? Now you have a pair, right? So to continue on, we could use our law of sines. Now, you could also do everything we just did for a different angle. So if you like this work and you're comfortable with this work, you can do it again for angle F. But if you'd rather not do all that work, you can say sine 48.51 over 12 equals sine F over 10. So 12 sine F equals 10 sine 48.51. And sine F equals 10 sine 48.51 over 12. How am I going to type that into my calculator? Second sine. So second sine 10 sine 48.51 close parentheses divided by 12. For F, I got 38.63. Anybody else get that? No? Did I mess it up, Reggie? I see you. No? All right, and then we have one more E. What's the easiest way to find E? Add them and subtract from 180. That's the easiest way. You could do anything like this again that you wanted to do, but that'll just take longer. 92.86. Are you all right with that? Everybody good? So we're gonna solve a couple triangles on our test. When we solve triangles, it's either law of sines or law of cosines. So you know how to tell which to use, right? If you have a pair or not. You just jump in and start doing the arithmetic. All right, how many triangles are possible? Here we go. We just took a quiz over this. I do it twice, just in case there are two. Do you see this right here? What's that mean? Law of signs. So sine 61 over 14 equals sine C over 12. This is exactly what we just got done doing when we were solving for angle F over there. It's exactly what we were doing. So we'll cross multiply. Divide by 14. And C is going to be second sine 12 sine 61 over 14. I always kind of hope I get an error. But I didn't. Did you get an answer? Yeah, 48.56. So then what do I automatically do? Subtract that from 180, 131.44. And ask myself, would that also be possible? That one's possible. What about this one? No, why not? These angles are too big, right? So that one didn't work. So how many triangles are possible? One. Just one. All right, let's get the next one done here. This is 52, 10, 16. So again, I'll draw it twice just in case. All right, what's my setup? Sine 52 over 16 equals sine C over 10. Oh, is that a 6? Yeah. Well, that's going to make a huge difference. Thank you. Right now? Oh, yeah, it is a 6. Alright, find angle C for me. Come on, you gotta be able to set this up yourselves. You can't just keep copying down mine. Should have ended up typing in is second sine 10 sine 52 divided by 6. That's what you should have typed in. And if you did type that in, you get error. So how many triangles are possible? 0. So this one had 1, just this one, and this one ended up having none. Right? It's almost time to go, so I'm going to stop there. I'm going to remind you that Friday, while we don't meet in person, it is a day of school.